All right, guys. I was reminded by AJ almost every day we need to do another Squarebody School. So I don't really have a particular saved episode or nothing quite yet, but we've got a lot of ideas going forward. But last time I did a Squarebody School, I was in a hoodie, so I guess it goes back almost a year ago now because the little clip popped up the other day. We're going to call it 2.0. We're going to step it up a little bit, change it up a little bit. Now, a few things people have asked for, and I want you guys to comment on this, is what you want to see in some of these. We're not trying to say we're the only people in the world know anything about square bodies. We're not going to say we know everything about them, but we do know a lot, and we do own a lot, and we do have a lot, and we've touched a lot. And now we've actually produced and patented a lot of products for them, just to show some of the love that we have, some things that we need as creature comforts as we're getting older. Either way, one of the great suggestions people said, can you take and line up from stock to like 12 inches of lift? Well, we can do even better than that. We can go up to like 28 inches of lift. But yes, we can line them up and show you guys 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. The normal stuff, then we can jump up to some of the big boys that we have. That would make for a good episode. Show what the tire fitments are, you know, because a 4-inch kit and a 6-inch kit both run 35s and they almost look the same. But you can do a 37 with 6 inches. So that's another topic that people have asked about. But the main thing, we appreciate every bit of the support. I have been trying to get over here all day. AJ's been capturing a ton of content on this beauty behind us. You can go ahead and show them, I know you want to. And we actually just took 4 trucks out of here up to Brian and Daniel at the off-road shop. A Suburban that's on some boggers that's sold for a guy in Florida, getting some custom things he wanted done and some power steps. Blue and white crew cab with the big 502 motor. Truck on 38 boggers, a short bed with a pretty nasty small block. And what else did we take? We got another one up there.
You said Suburban already?
Yeah. So anyway, we dropped another one off. So we had 4 more of them in here to show you guys. Then of course we've got the truck in the back that I'm gonna bring you a full video on. 3 calls on that already today. And people can really appreciate the new part of the story that I'm gonna tell you guys about that truck, which really just gives it all the validity in the world. And we got my man here recording in the background. So don't know what channel he's on right this minute, but he's trying to do it live. So I'm trying not to screw up and have to cut this at all, which is the way I like to do it. But the 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 lift kit idea I think is great. Anything else you guys want to see? Again, we can go into our buildings, we can go into our box trucks, we can pull out factory parts, we can show you guys a lot of things. And we also know there's a lot of younger generation kicking up on this. We just sold a truck the other day. And I thought the guy said he was 14-year-old, his son, but maybe he said he was 16. But a really cool big block square body, went to a younger guy, great customer on the phone. He's bringing his son up, you know, learning about square bodies, fixing it up a little further because it was not perfect or done. Got another guy called earlier today. He's got one he's working on with his 16-year-old son and didn't know whether to buy one already done or build one. So there's a lot of appreciation to you guys that are doing this stuff in your backyard. We can understand that. But the other thing you do have to understand is when we take a truck such as this red one, which was already a beautiful truck, and we go through our processes with it, we can't do it in the backyard for free, unfortunately. It is going through our interior shop. It's going through our electronic shop. It's going through the off-road shop. It's going through our personal shop over there. It's going through, you know, Kenny that does a lot of our stuff. You know, it goes through other hands. Each one of those hands doesn't work for me for free. Even though they like me, they don't work for free. So it does add up. But what you get out of that, just like the Suburban guy, he's getting the truck tailored to the way he wants it. The other one that they're getting ready to finish up there, that's the green one. I knew there was another one, AJ. We got to grab the green one. That's a 502 big block going to a lady, actually. And she's doing the steps, the steering, the track bar, a new rear bumper, getting the windows tinted, a bed cover, so many things to that truck because her, I don't know if it's her husband or boyfriend or whatever, he owns a diesel shop. It's like, hey, I don't want to do it. I want you guys to do it. I want to have this truck show up and I want to be able to drive it. That's perfect. We love that. The other thing on Squarebody School, when was it, Jason, that we bought that other Suburban?
It would have been 2014, I believe.
All right. 10 years ago is exactly what I was going to say. 10 years ago, a Suburban that looks just like this one. Now, it's not pristine. It's got faded paint. It's got a couple little rust spots. But it was 10 years ago. I bought from Jason, who bought it from a friend of ours that had it for years. It was almost identical size, lift, wheels, tires, same red paint. I bought it, yeah, same wheels, yeah, very similar truck. So I bought that truck and put it up for sale and sold it immediately. Well, 2 or 3 months went by and the guy came back and said, hey, I'm going through some marital stuff. Can you buy this truck from me? And I was like, we can, but I need to make sure all the marital stuff is straight because I got to get a clear title. Lo and behold, it was not. So it was tied up. So we put it on the website as a consignment for him, and we're waiting patiently for the title, waiting patiently for the title. They had to go through the whole process. It sat on the back line in the bushes over there. It was one of the most viral vehicles, and I just threw the paperwork away, which is crazy this came up, and it's crazy Jason said something about it. We had our reports that were run from Auto Trader. Auto Trader was the only advertiser we really had that showed the reports. And I had at that time maybe 150 vehicles in my full inventory that was advertised with Auto Trader. It was the most searched. Matter of fact, 1 month, it was searched as many times as all the other 149 vehicles I had, period, at all. And it was $16,000 or $17,000, you know, this one's 20. So that was 10 years ago. It wasn't much difference in money. The trucks were identical in condition. This one, of course, we've been over it now, and like we showed in the last video, and a lot of people cackle about 20 grand. Oh my gosh, that's a whole lot of money. If you can find a running, driving, freshly lifted Suburban with a new fuel tank, that all the windows, all the locks, the back window works, it's got a Virginia legit inspection for safety, so all the safety components are right. The motor runs like a top, and it's been replaced. The transmission's been replaced. The documentation on the truck is awesome. That's a hard find. I don't care where you are, but that's not like a new price. And it's not like they were popular yesterday and not 10 years ago. It's also not like we started yesterday. We've been doing this for a long time with square bodies. It's just far more intense now. This black truck, huge topic of conversation. Huge topic of conversation. One of the big deals is, it's one of the first that actually got out in kind of the show scene with our steps on it. It's also black, which is hard to paint, and it has an incredible paint job. The people that painted this truck did a phenomenal job. It also has the Davis off-road steering and crossover bolt-on system, and a ton of chrome and stainless and other cool things along the way too. This truck is not for sale yet because it's not done. And this truck's going to be a high-end level price point truck. As you can see from looking at it, this is not just your backyard normal run-of-the-mill build. We've done, well, let's pop the hood. This truck, when they did the paint and body work, one of the most common things, and I'm going to encourage you guys not to do it on square bodies, is they shaved the firewall. And in doing that, it had no AC, of course, but it also had no heat. So shaving the firewall is super cool, but it also makes a problem. So we're installing a vintage air system, and you can see we have the rods unhooked from the hood. They put a lot of pressure on the hood, and we don't want to break this as a fiberglass hood. It also makes it buckle, and the body lines don't look as good, but those are really cool hinges. But when you shave the firewall, again, you lose all heat capacity, ability for heat, and then of course it's a nightmare to go back and redo it. This is the third in a row, I believe, that's been like this, that we have put AC and heat system back on, and we're just about finished with that. But you can also see the pulley system and all the new accessories. Got it underneath here. Got a reservoir on the power steering pump, got braided hoses on the power steering pump, got a new alternator, got a new AC compressor, got new idler, got a serpentine belt system so you're not going to throw off your little V-belt. So many cool upgrades have been done to this truck, even though it was a very, very nicely completed truck to start with. We've still got to wire the windshield wipers. We had to rewire the interior of the cab because the dome light didn't work. Well, who cares about dome light? Y'all know I'm pretty picky about a dome light. But the big deal on this truck was you got to have a dome light to make the steps work because you got to have a door pin. So Brian pulled the interior out, redid all the wiring. Thankfully, we had a donor truck so we could do that. So many little finishing touches. If we're going to sell a big money truck, I do want it to be as finished as possible. There's always going to be something, like I always say, these trucks are old, things are going to break. We all know that. But we'd rather it be as complete as possible. That way you can not only go to a show, AJ's been driving this truck around all morning, taking pictures and videos, which I told him, ease up, let's take pictures and videos of other ones. But all my guys are super excited about this one. Brian and Daniel have been over it. Everybody's drooled on it. I've had to wipe it down 10 times from all the drool. Thank goodness it's got a good coat of wax on it. We took it to a show. It blew everybody's mind at the show. We've got 2 more that we have not even shown you guys yet that are just as nice as this. You will see them soon. One is not as elaborate and one is more elaborate, to be honest. So 2 more that you guys haven't seen anything about yet. Of course, a little teaser on the crew cab short bed. That's another one I was going to do a video about, and I'll have Brian and Daniel and my cousin Jake involved on that because my cousin actually did one of those, but that is a factory 1-ton long chassis truck that's been shortened. There's several ways you can do it. We'll show you the way this one's been done, and we'll show you some other ways that it can be done as well. And then the Holy Grail, that was probably the wrong word, truck, really truly just should have been called a survivor truck. We're going to give you the rest of the story on that one, and I think you guys are going to be thoroughly pleased when you hear about that one. If nothing else, just to hear about the story, because we have it straight from the horse's mouth. I don't bug people. Like this truck right here, I've texted with the guy a few times after I got it. One of the other trucks that we just sold last week, same way. I text with the buyer and I text with the seller. It's just cool. For us, it's fun. It's an extra part of our business. It's not our main business whatsoever. It's the fun part of our business. But that man actually reached out and he said, JW, call me. I got a couple things I forgot to tell you about the truck. Well, those couple things were the couple things that I questioned in my video because I didn't know, and I wasn't going to make up the story. All we could go off is what we thought. Well, he vouched for those things, so that's going to be a great video to come, updating you guys about that. Thanks for all the patience. Thanks for all the support. Thanks for all the growth. We really appreciate each and every one of you guys along this journey because it has been a long one. We're really trying hard, like my man right here, capturing some stuff happening live. Nothing is boring around here. Nothing's boring at the shop. We're doing stuff all day, every day. We're dealing with customers from all over the world. We're shipping parts out to all over the world. The stuff that the off-road shop is taking the time to design, yeah, to some people, you know, those steps are expensive. I wouldn't own a truck that I couldn't get in and out of any longer. Back, shoulder, pains, and being close to 50 years old, you don't jump up in them like you used to. Those things are the greatest things since sliced bread, and we don't make a fortune on them. Hardly make it worth the time to produce them, to be honest. But when we sell a truck that's lifted and the man can't get in it, it's no good to him at all. So the steering makes the truck drive better. We make pennies on that system, but it makes the truck drive right, it makes the truck more safe, and it makes it more practical. I've hardly have a truck leave that we don't add that to, just because of the fact it changes it that much. You can comfortably drive it. Yes, you're probably not supposed to be on the cell phone. You're not supposed to be drinking a cup of coffee while you're driving. We all do it. You can't drive a big lifted square body and do any of those things until the suspension and the drive and the steering is right. That stuff makes a huge, huge difference. Every customer that's had it can vouch for it. Any customer that hasn't had it got rid of their square body because of that. We're all components of that. When that new stuff came out, we're not the first to do it. We just redesigned it a little differently, made it bolt on, made it a cleaner install, and made it all work right. The steps the same way. The time and tribulations that Brian and Daniel have in those things to make it to where you can bolt those things on, plug it in, run your wires. It's just phenomenal. So, and while we're over here in the building, there is one other tucked over, the Blazer over there. It's the only K5 we've had recently. Christian's calling. Yeah. That's a pretty stock original truck, 4-inch lift 35s. I've been saying for the last couple of days we're going to get it out of here, but it's pretty thoroughly blocked in, but it is going to be one that we're going to add the power steps to. Truck's a perfect size and height the way it is. It's half ton, newer front end, good interior, great driver. all around solid truck with good history. Got it directly from one of my dealer friends that had been driving it, so I knew a lot about it when we got it. And it didn't show up like a lot of them, and it wasn't really a rusted up turd bucket, you know, easiest way to put it. It's actually a very, very, very solid Blazer. When we put the steps on it, we'll get some pictures while it's in the air. Anything else you guys can think of? All right. What's that? Oh yeah, we do have a 2-wheel drive Suburban too, which is a really cool truck. Would make a great conversion. And also, be sure you guys are on our TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. That's what Jason's working on. He's doing some filming for TikTok mainly. He's our TikTok guru. That's actually one of our biggest followings is on there, and he goes live quite a bit, shows you some behind the scenes of what's going on. He's also very interactive, so if you walk past something and you want to see more, even if you're just looking, I don't care, just ask him to go back and scroll back. This is a really, really nice 2-wheel drive truck, rust-free of course. Full video on the channel while we had it on the rack, showing you all the repairs we made, all the things we replaced. We serviced it. That's a great running driving truck that would be an amazing 4-wheel drive candidate or just a good driver. Some great options, clean interior. The underneath of that seat, even though it's covered with a blanket, is not tore all to pieces. It's still in very acceptable shape, but that's saving it from getting any worse. We got papers, documents. This truck has a Jasper replacement motor. The paint finish is excellent. One of the more popular color combinations. Actually, Christian and AJ have been trying to talk one of our customers into it that's been looking for a project that wants this color scheme. Barn doors on the back, tow hitch on the back. That's an all ready to go vehicle. So again, guys, thanks a lot. Got a little long-winded on that one. Tell me what you guys want to see in the next school. We'll do an actual video. We'll take the time to line this stuff up in here. We'll show you line by line. Another one people wanted to see, 6-lug, 8-lug, 3/4 ton, 8-lug, 1 ton. What's the difference? That's easy enough too. What are the differences on the rear ends? What are the differences on transfer cases? That stuff I'll bring Daniel and Brian in on too, so they can really show you some real differences in what can be upgraded, because they're the ones hands-on that stuff all the time. And then of course the new wheels that have been produced, we'll get you some stuff on that. One of the sets is getting ready to go on that black truck. That's the other reason I didn't want to show you guys too much on it yet. I want you to see it in its full finished potential, which is very close to happening. So thanks a lot. Stay tuned. Be sure to subscribe. Hit the bell so you get the notifications. We're trying to drop at least 2 to 3 videos a day across all the platforms. Of course, the YouTube's the most interactive. Thanks, guys.